Have you ever noticed how men rarely tell you what actually drives them wild? They'll talk about attraction, chemistry, even love, but the things that really make them melt, the ones that silence his mind and awaken his body, those stay locked inside him. It's not that he doesn't feel it, it's that he can't explain it. For a man, desire often hides behind silence. He'll act confident, sure of himself, but deep down he's craving small, intentional gestures, the kind that whisper, I see you, I want you, I choose you. And here's the secret most women never hear. There are 3 specific places every man wants you to kiss, but he'll never ever say them out loud. They're not what you think. They're not the cliche, not the predictable ones. These are the ones that unlock something deeper, that quiet magnetic side of him that only appears when he feels completely desired. When your lips find those places, something changes. His guard drops, his breath deepens. He feels chosen in a way that no words could ever give him. And in that moment, you're not just kissing him, you're reprogramming his memory, because he won't remember your lipstick shade. He won't remember the song in the background, but he'll remember how it felt when your energy told him he was wanted. He'll remember the heartbeat he felt against yours. He'll remember the kiss he didn't even know he needed until you gave it. That's the power of feminine awareness, knowing where and how to touch a man's soul through something as simple as a kiss. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you won't just know where to kiss him, you'll understand why it works, and how these 3 kisses can make him crave you long after your lips are gone hit-like, if you're feeling that spark. Because what's next is the move that makes him think about you long after you're gone. The secret language of kissing, why he craves what he can't say. Most women assume men are simple, that if they want something, they'll ask for it. But when it comes to intimacy, especially touch, most men go silent, not because they're disinterested, but because what they crave is far more complex than they let on. A man can be confident, successful, even dominant in other areas of life. But when it comes to feeling desired, he often becomes uncertain. You see, men are taught to perform desire, not to receive it. From a young age, they learn to chase, to impress, to win, but very few have ever been taught what it feels like to be truly wanted. That's why when a woman takes the lead, when she touches him with certainty, when she kisses him in ways that feel intentional, it short circuits every defense mechanism he's built. It's not just the kiss that catches him off guard, it's the message behind it. Because a kiss, when done with awareness, isn't just a physical act, it's communication. It tells him, you don't have to prove anything right now. You're safe, you're desired. And for most men, that's rare. This is the part no one talks about. Most men won't say they crave reassurance through intimacy. They won't tell you they want to be touched in a way that makes them feel chosen. But deep down, that's exactly what awakens them. It's not the lipstick, the perfume, or the lighting. It's energy. It's when your presence tells his body, you can stop performing. Just feel. Every man has moments he won't admit. Moments where a woman's touch made him feel something he couldn't name. A kiss that made him go still. A gesture that made him realize, she's not trying to please me, she's connecting with me. And that's where the secret begins. Because once you understand that a kiss isn't about passion, it's about power, everything changes. When you kiss a man with intention, you're not just making him feel wanted, you're creating emotional safety, something he rarely experiences. You're speaking to his unspoken need to be seen, to be accepted, to be allowed to let go. So when we talk about the 3 places every man wants you to kiss, what we're really talking about is how to speak his emotional language through physical touch. These are the places that remind him of something deeper. That connection doesn't have to be rushed. That intimacy can feel safe and electric at the same time. You'll see as we go deeper that each place you touch him isn't just about desire. It's about trust. It's about showing him that he doesn't need to ask for what he needs because you already feel it. That's the secret most women miss. It's not about being sexy, it's about being present. And when you understand that presence, your energy, your awareness, your intention is what he truly craves. You'll realize the real power of a kiss has nothing to do with his lips. If this hits home, tap subscribe. The next part will show you just how powerful your presence really is, the science of subtle touch. Let's talk about something powerful. The kind of touch that doesn't just attract him, it anchors him to you. Because touch, when done with awareness, is far more than physical. It's chemistry, psychology, and emotion all communicating at once. every human being, especially men, has something called the skin-brain connection. Your skin isn't just a surface, it's a living communication system. The moment you touch him, tiny receptors in his body send messages to his brain, not just about pressure or warmth, but meaning. A man's nervous system instantly begins interpreting, is this safe? Is this familiar? Is this exciting? And what decides that isn't the touch itself, it's the intention behind it. Here's where most people get it wrong. They think passion is about speed, about intensity, about doing more. But the truth is, the slower you go, the more powerful it becomes. When you move slowly, you give his brain time to process pleasure. You let him feel. You stop being predictable and you start being memorable. When your touch is unhurried, when your lips or hands linger just long enough, his entire body goes into a kind of emotional focus. You're no longer just touching his skin. You're speaking directly to his nervous system. And that's where attraction turns into imprinting. Because here's the science of it. Every touch releases a small dose of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. But when that touch is paired with calm energy, soft breathing, or eye contact, the brain begins to associate that moment with safety and connection. That's why he'll remember you long after the moment ends. This is what separates a forgettable kiss from an unforgettable one. One is just physical contact. The other is psychological resonance. And the real secret, men rarely experience that. Most of their physical encounters are reactive or purely physical. So when a woman slows down, when she kisses him like she's not in a hurry to get anywhere, his mind doesn't just register desire, it registers trust. That's the paradox of subtle touch. The gentler it is, the deeper it goes. You can test this easily. The next time you're close to him, don't rush. Let your lips hover near his neck for a moment before you touch him. Breathe, let him feel your presence. That pause, that hesitation is where anticipation lives. It's not about teasing. It's about allowing energy to build naturally. Because when you give a man time to feel, he begins to connect the experience with you. It's not just the act, it's the emotion attached to it. That's what bonds him. And here's the part most women never realize. Men crave emotional safety just as much as physical excitement. The moment your energy tells him you can relax your scene, his body lets go. And in that space, he experiences desire and comfort at the same time, something incredibly rare. So yes, subtlety matters, but it's not about being passive. It's about confidence. When you slow down, when you move with awareness, you send the message, I'm in control. I know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid of silence or stillness. That energy is magnetic because it's not just sensual, it's emotional authority. Every man responds to that, even if he can't explain why. So the next time you touch him, remember this, you're not just making contact, you're writing emotional code into his memory. The way you kiss him, the rhythm of your breath, the pauses between, those become the blueprint for how he feels around you. And once you understand that, you realize the science of touch isn't about seduction, it's about communication, and you've been fluent in it all along. Don't miss this next part. It's the one that makes him crave you without you even trying. Like if you're ready. How feminine energy speaks without words. Let's talk about the real secret behind unforgettable intimacy. And it's not a move or a technique or even a kiss. It's energy. Because long before your lips touch his skin, he's already feeling you. Most women think attraction starts when they make physical contact. But a man feels your presence the moment you walk into his space. Before a single word, before a single touch. That's what feminine energy really is, not something you do, but something you radiate. Think about the women who draw men in effortlessly. They're not the loudest, not the most revealing, not even the most traditionally sexy. What makes them magnetic is their stillness, their self-trust, the calm in their energy that says, I'm not performing, I'm just here. That energy speaks louder than anything you could say. And when that energy meets touch, when it moves through your hands, your lips, your breath, it creates a kind of silence that men crave. You see, men spend most of their lives performing. They perform at work, in friendships, even in relationships. They're used to being on. But when your energy tells him he doesn't need to perform, that he's safe to just be, you create a space he can't find anywhere else. That's the space where intimacy stops being physical and starts becoming emotional. When you bring feminine energy into a kiss, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him permission to feel, to drop the armor, to experience something beyond lust, something real. It's the difference between a kiss that excites him and a kiss that stays with him. One fades when the moment ends. The other lingers for days because it touches something deeper. Feminine energy isn't about being soft or submissive. It's about being grounded in your own confidence. It's knowing that your power doesn't come from chasing or proving. It comes from being present. From saying, without words, I know my worth. And if you're here, you're lucky to feel it. That subtle shift from seeking approval to owning your energy changes everything. Because when you believe in your own magnetism, he feels it instantly. And that's what pulls him in. Not your looks, not your technique, but your self-assured energy. When you kiss him from that place, your energy becomes language. It tells him, you don't have to chase me. I've already chosen you. It says, you don't need to lead. I trust the moment. It whispers, this is where you can rest. And that's the irony. The most powerful women in intimacy are the ones who don't try to impress. They connect, they breathe, they slow down enough to let emotion speak through touch. That's the art of feminine communication. No words, no performance, just presence. So as you move deeper into this video, as we explore where to kiss him and why those places awaken something he doesn't even understand, remember this. It's not just about lips and skin. It's about energy and emotion. Because a kiss might touch his body, but your energy, that's what touches his mind. And when you master that, when your touch becomes a reflection of your self-trust, that's when he starts craving not just your kiss, but you. The first place where desire begins, the most overlooked spot that makes him melt. Let's start with a truth that almost no one talks about. The first place every man secretly wants you to kiss isn't below his neck. It's above it, because what truly makes him melt is when you kiss his mind. Now, that might sound abstract, but stay with me. This is where real attraction starts. Before your lips touch him, he's already feeling how you see him. And that's the kiss that most women forget to give. Here's what I mean. When you look at a man, he's subconsciously reading your energy. Do you look at him like he's ordinary or like he's someone worth being seen? Because for most men, what they crave more than physical affection is to feel chosen. When you touch his arm mid-laugh, when you glance at his lips before you smile, when your energy says, I see you and I like what I see, that's when you're already kissing him without even touching him. That's why the first place that ignites desire is actually his ego, but not in a shallow way. It's the part of him that wants to feel admired, respected, desired for who he is, not just what he does. When a woman understands that, she becomes unforgettable, because every man has had someone kiss his lips, but very few have ever had someone kiss his confidence. Let me explain the psychology behind it. Most men grow up being taught to pursue, to chase, to impress. So when a woman gives him the opposite, when she makes him feel pursued even subtly, it flips the script. It gives him something he didn't know he was missing. It's not about being overly forward or aggressive. It's about presence. The quiet but undeniable energy that says, I choose to be here. You don't have to earn me. I've already decided. A simple glance can do more than a long conversation. A slow lean in can do more than a kiss on the lips, because it's not the action, it's the intention behind it. That's how you kiss his mind, with attention, with curiosity, with admiration that feels effortless and genuine. When you reach that level, every physical touch that follows carries 10 times the meaning, because you're not just kissing his body, you're confirming the emotional truth you've already communicated. And that's why the best lovers, the ones who create unforgettable intimacy, never rush the first moment. They linger in that invisible space before touch, where eyes meet, breath slows, and silence becomes electric. That's the real foreplay. So what's the physical reflection of this first place? It's the temple, the forehead, and the area just behind his ear. Those spots are loaded with emotional memory. When you kiss a man there, it triggers a sense of being cared for, respected, even seen. It's not fiery, it's grounding. And paradoxically, that calmness is what builds tension. It's what tells his nervous system, you're safe here and that's why you can want me. Most women skip this stage. They go straight for passion, but passion without emotional grounding fades. Connection with anticipation, however, builds like slow fire. So when you're close enough, brush your lips near his temple or whisper something softly behind his ear, not to seduce him, but to center him. Let him feel your breath before he feels your kiss. Let the pause become the spark. That's the kind of intimacy men can't explain, but never forget. Because you didn't just kiss his body, you kissed his identity. You touched the part of him that wants to feel chosen. And that's where desire truly begins. why emotional anticipation turns physical fast. If you've ever wondered why some kisses feel like a movie scene, where time slows and you can almost feel your heartbeat in your ears, it's not just chemistry, it's anticipation. Because attraction isn't built in the moment of the kiss, it's built in the seconds before it happens. That's where most people get it wrong. They rush the moment, they go straight for contact, and in doing so, they skip the charge. That invisible magnetic pull that makes someone's breath hitch when you get close. Men especially crave this more than they'll ever admit. They won't tell you outright because vulnerability isn't easy for most of them. But what keeps a man thinking about you long after the moment is over isn't what you did, it's how you made him wait. Psychologically, anticipation amplifies desire. Every second you hold back, every millimeter you don't close, gives his brain a flood of dopamine. He starts imagining what it will feel like before it even happens. That imagination builds tension, and that tension is desire. So the secret isn't to be faster, it's to be slower, to create a rhythm that pulls him in and leaves him wondering when the moment will arrive. Picture this: you're close enough that your breath brushes his skin, but not touching yet. You look into his eyes for a second too long, you smile, the kind of smile that tells him you know exactly what you're doing. That's anticipation. That's the art of making him crave you without a single word. When you learn to do this, you stop performing and start playing. Because this isn't about technique, it's about emotional pacing. Men don't just want the kiss, they want to feel chosen in it. They want to know that you're not just giving, you're deciding. And when you're in control of when, how, and where that first real touch happens, that's when the energy flips. He's no longer leading, he's responding. And that shift is where attraction deepens into fascination. Now let's talk biology for a second. When you delay a kiss, his body starts releasing adrenaline and oxytocin at the same time. It's the same mix of chemicals that triggers both excitement and connection. So while his mind is thinking, I want her, his body is learning, I trust her. That's the perfect combination for intimacy that lasts beyond the physical. And that's what most people never master, the ability to make someone feel both safe and excited at once. That contrast is magnetic. It's what creates chemistry that doesn't fade when the moment's over. So how do you do this in practice? You slow everything down. When you lean in, don't close the distance right away. Let your fingers graze something, his wrist, his neck, his jawline, before your lips ever meet his. Let your breath be the bridge. Men are extremely sensitive to pacing. A sudden move feels like performance. A gradual move feels like connection. You're not just showing interest, you're showing control. And here's the truth: control is deeply attractive. When a woman knows how to hold a moment, not rush it, not force it, she becomes unforgettable because every second feels intentional. Every pause feels like an invitation. That's why anticipation turns physical so quickly, not because it's teasing, but because it builds trust through awareness. He starts sensing with your rhythm. His breathing changes to match yours. And by the time your lips finally meet, he's already emotionally connected. That's when a kiss stops being just a kiss and becomes communication. It says, I see you. I know you want this. And I want it too. But I decide when that sentence, unspoken but felt, drives him wild. Because for the first time, he's not chasing approval. He's being guided. And when a man feels guided in that way, he lets go. He gives you his full attention. He stops thinking and just feels. That's what makes anticipation the spark that turns physical desire into emotional connection. It's not manipulation, it's mastery, the art of understanding rhythm, silence, and timing. So before we move to the next place, remember this: the most powerful moment in intimacy isn't when you touch him, it's when you make him ache for the moment you will. The second place, the one that awakens his instinct. There's a moment between comfort and chaos when your touch crosses from gentle reassurance to raw attraction. That moment is where a man's instinct wakes up. Most women don't realize it, but men are wired to respond to a very specific kind of kiss, one that triggers his protective and possessive instincts at the same time. It's not on his lips. It's not even near his face. It's lower the side of his neck, just beneath the ear. That spot is primal. It's connected to nerves that send signals straight to his emotional brain, the part that governs connection, not logic. When you kiss him there, slow and deliberate, it does something more powerful than passion. It tells his body, you can let go. Think about how rare that is for most men. They spend their entire lives holding control, at work, in relationships, in their own minds. They're expected to lead, to be decisive, to always have a plan. But that pressure means they almost never feel what it's like to surrender. When you find that place and you linger there, you give him permission to feel without needing to think. It's not about lust, it's about freedom. And that's what wakes up his instinct. Because instinct doesn't come from desire alone, it comes from safety. He can't truly feel passion until he feels safe enough to stop performing. That's why that kiss, that slow, patient connection to the side of his neck is one of the most intimate things you can do. But here's what makes it powerful. It's not just the physical act. It's how you do it. If you rush, it feels random. If you hesitate, it feels uncertain. But when you move with confidence, when your breath lands before your lips, when your hand steadies him, he feels something primal switch on. It's like his body says, she knows what she's doing. And suddenly, he's no longer trying to control the moment. He's following your lead. That's when a man truly opens up, because in that moment, he's not thinking about desire. He's thinking about you. He's feeling your confidence, your warmth, your focus, and he's letting himself be guided by it. Here's the truth few people understand. A man's deepest attraction doesn't come from what he sees. It comes from what he feels you feeling. If you're confident and grounded, he feels safe enough to let his walls down. If you're present and slow, he feels a connection that goes beyond physical. And when you kiss that space, the side of his neck, with full awareness, it's not just a kiss, it's a message. You don't need to do anything right now. Just be here with irresistible to him, because it flips his script. He spent his life believing he has to impress, to pursue, to earn attention. Now, suddenly, he's the one being pursued, but in a way that feels sacred, not dominant. That's why this spot, quiet, hidden, tender, is so powerful. It's not public. It's private. It's yours and his alone. And that secrecy makes it even more intoxicating. It feels like a language only the two of you speak. It's what makes him remember the moment long after it ends, not because of the touch itself, but because of how seen he felt in it. So when you think about awakening his instinct, don't think of aggression or speed. Think of stillness. Think of awareness. Because the real power in attraction doesn't come from taking control. It comes from knowing when to be calm enough to let him surrender. You'll notice something magical happens afterward. He'll look at you differently, not just with desire, but with focus. Because in that small act, you've told his body something he didn't know he was waiting to hear. You're allowed to stop trying. And once a man feels that once he's been kissed in a way that awakens his instinct and calms his mind, he can't unfeel it. You become the memory he chases, even when he doesn't understand why. The third place, the kiss that makes him emotionally addicted. There's one place you can kiss that almost no one talks about, not because it's inappropriate, but because it's too emotional, too revealing, too real. It's the kind of kiss that doesn't just turn him on. It reaches the part of him that wants to stay. And that place is just below his collarbone, right where his heartbeat meets your breath. It's not a sexy spot in the obvious sense. It's not what movies show, not what most people even think about. But that's why it's powerful, because it bypasses performance and goes straight to emotion. When you kiss him there, gently, slowly, without rush, something changes in him. You're not saying, I want you. You're saying, I see you. And that distinction, that tiny emotional difference, is what makes a man feel addicted to you on a level he can't explain. Most men have never been kissed that way. They've been desired, admired, maybe even worshipped, but not seen. And the moment they are, everything else fades, because that kiss right there at his chest touches more than skin. It touches his need to feel safe enough to open up, to feel chosen for who he is, not what he performs. That's the kind of intimacy that rewires a man's attachment. It's soft, grounded, and emotionally charged. And when you linger, when you let your lips stay there just long enough to sync with his heartbeat, it creates a silent conversation. Your body is telling him, I feel your heart, I'm here with you. That's why it's addictive. Not because it excites him, but because it calms him. And when a man associates calm with you, it's over. He can't help but come back. See, desire fades when it's only physical, but when you build emotional safety inside desire, it multiplies. It becomes something he can't find anywhere else. You're not just another woman who kisses him. You're the woman who makes him feel something rare. That's how emotional addiction begins. He starts craving not just your body, but the way your energy settles him, the way you look at him mid-moment, as if there's nothing else in the world but that heartbeat between you. And that's the secret no one talks about. It's not the lips or the neck or even the passion that makes him fall. It's the connection. It's the way you turn a physical moment into an emotional memory. Men fall for women who make them feel at home in their own skin. That's what this kiss does. It tells his body it's safe to feel, and once a man feels safe, he bonds. You could disappear for weeks and he'd still think about it, not because of lust, but because it hit something deeper. That's why when he talks about you later, he won't mention the way you look or even what you said. He'll say, there was just something about her. That something was the moment he felt seen without words. The moment you kissed the one place that told him he didn't have to pretend. And here's the real secret. The most magnetic women don't chase intensity. They create depth. They know that real seduction isn't about doing more. It's about feeling more. When you kiss him there with warmth, awareness, and softness, you're not performing. You're teaching him what real connection feels like. And once he's felt that, every other experience feels shallow. That's what emotional addiction is. It's not manipulation, it's resonance. It's when your energy stays with him longer than your touch. So remember this, when you know where to kiss a man, you can catch his attention. But when you know how to kiss him with emotion, presence, and trust, you capture his soul. And that's something he'll never be able to forget. The psychological aftershock right after intimacy, something subtle but powerful happens inside a man's mind. The moment you pull back from that final kiss, especially one that touched his heart, not just his skin, his brain doesn't simply reset, it rewires. When a man feels a deep, emotional, sensual connection, his body releases two conflicting chemicals: dopamine, the reward signal that fuels craving, and oxytocin, the bonding hormone that builds trust. Most men are used to quick dopamine spikes, visual attraction, a fast kiss, a thrill that fades. But when oxytocin appears at the same time, it confuses his system in the best way possible. His mind associates you with both excitement and calm, the two states men almost never experience together. That chemical overlap is why he can't stop thinking about you. He's chasing the calm as much as the thrill, but there's more than biology at play. Psychologically, men live in the tension between control and surrender. During that kiss, he surrendered. For a moment, he wasn't performing, he was feeling. Afterward, his ego scrambles to make sense of it. What just happened? Why do I feel so drawn to her? His logical brain wants to file it away as simple attraction, but it can't. Because attraction fades when it's purely physical. This one felt different. It felt safe. That's the aftershock you want. Not chaos, not confusion. Contrast. Contrast between the world that demands his control and the woman who allows his peace. When he senses that difference, he starts seeking it. Subconsciously, he'll replay the smallest details, the way your breath slowed his heartbeat, the softness of your tone afterward, the way you didn't rush to fill silence. Each micro memory triggers another dopamine pulse. Every time his brain links that pleasure to you. Here's where most women accidentally break the spell. They try to extend the moment verbally. They text too soon, over-explain what it meant, or rush to define it. That pulls him back into his rational brain, the very place you just helped him escape. The magic dissolves. The most magnetic response is stillness. Let the aftershock breathe. He needs space to interpret the experience as his idea. When you resist the urge to follow up, you're actually deepening his internal chase. His thoughts fill the gap you've left. The silence becomes seductive. Men don't fall for effort. They fall for impact. And impact lands in the quiet moments that come after connection. So when you step away from him, whether it's a goodbye at the door or a gentle pause in the moment, don't rush to re-anchor the energy. Take a breath. Smile softly. Let your eyes linger for half a second longer than usual. Then turn away with composure. You're signaling that was real and I'm not chasing it. Single act flips his psychology. Instead of categorizing you as someone available, his brain flags you as something rare. He'll start replaying the moment not to analyze you, but to re-experience that mix of excitement and peace. That's the essence of the psychological aftershock. You leave him with a feeling he can't name, and that becomes the reason he has to come back. The feminine energy shift, what happens after a deep connection, matters just as much as the moment itself. The way you carry yourself afterwards shapes how he interprets everything he just felt. This is what I call the feminine energy shift, the quiet transformation from being in the moment to becoming the memory that lingers. Right after intimacy, most women's first impulse is to seek reassurance. Did he like that? Was it too much? Should I say something sweet? That instinct comes from a beautiful place. It's about care. But in a man's mind, that sudden need for validation changes the emotional temperature. It turns presence into pressure. The feminine energy that keeps him chasing doesn't rush to prove or fix anything. It's calm. It trusts the connection without needing to label it. When you stay composed, it tells him that what just happened was normal for you, not a rare accident. And that confidence is magnetic. Here's what that shift looks like in practice 1. Your energy slows down, not away. After a powerful moment, don't scramble to fill the silence. Keep your breathing steady, your tone soft. This unspoken poise says, I'm comfortable in closeness. That steadiness grounds him. It reminds him that being near you doesn't demand effort. It offers peace. 2, you stay playful, not analytical. Humor, warmth, and light teasing keep his mind in emotion rather than analysis. Something as small as a smile that says you're trouble, or a gentle laugh does more than any deep debrief ever could. Playfulness extends chemistry. Analysis kills it. 3, you protect your rhythm. Don't alter your day or your responses to fit his mood afterward. Keep your plans. Keep your boundaries. That consistency makes him realize you're not waiting, you're living. Men are drawn to women whose lives keep moving because it signals value. She's fulfilled whether or not he reaches out. When you embody that energy, you're sending him a silent message. That connection was beautiful and I don't need to chase it. That independence doesn't make you cold. It makes you radiant. It shows you trust the bond enough to give it space to grow on its own. And that space is exactly what makes a man start missing you. His mind begins to replay every expression, every word, every breath, because your energy didn't cling, it echoed. From a psychological perspective, this calm detachment flips his brain's reward system. When he feels uncertainty but not rejection, his dopamine rises again. The same chemical that fires when he pursues goals now links to you. He feels compelled to reach out, to see if he can earn more of that steady warmth. That's why maintaining feminine energy after connection isn't about tactics, it's about emotional leadership. You set the tone for how the relationship feels. If you stay serene and grounded, he mirrors it. If you rush, he retreats. So the next time you share closeness, imagine your energy as an invisible current. When it's calm, he relaxes into it. When it's frantic, he disconnects. Your stillness keeps the current flowing. In the days that follow, communicate from that same energy. Short, light messages, gratitude instead of need, humor instead of hints. Every interaction should remind him of the ease he felt when he was with you. Because men don't chase chaos, they chase peace that excites them. And when your feminine energy holds both peace and spark, he can't stay away for long. The subtle chase framework, after deep connection, most women assume the way to keep his interest is through more attention, more effort, or more conversation. But what actually keeps him chasing is not more, it's mystery with warmth. Men don't stay drawn to someone who's constantly available. They stay drawn to someone who invites pursuit without demanding it. That's the art of the subtle chase framework, how to keep his desire active through energy, not games. Here's how it works. 1, give him emotional contrast. When every moment feels predictable, a man's brain starts to normalize the excitement he once felt. The key is contrast, letting the emotional rhythm breathe. After a moment of closeness, you might pull back slightly, not with coldness, but with curiosity about your own life. Get absorbed in your work, your goals, your joy. When he reaches out, greet him with warmth, not waiting. This tiny contrast reignites his instinct to pursue. Your absence reminds him of your presence. It creates space for longing, and longing is the foundation of male desire. To communicate like someone who's fulfilled. When you text or talk afterward, don't lead with questions like, "Did you think about me?" Or, "What are we now?" Instead, lead with lightness. Something that shows you're emotionally centered. A message like, "I've been smiling about something you said the other day," opens a door without pressure. It makes him curious again. Your tone says, "I'm open, not attached." Fulfilled communication makes him feel that being around you is a bonus, not a responsibility. That's what keeps him leaning in. He doesn't feel cornered, he feels invited. 3, reward effort, not attention. Men value what they invest in. When he makes genuine effort, calls plans, follows through, acknowledge it with appreciation. When he sends lazy, low effort crumbs, don't feed the dynamic. You're not playing hard to get, you're being selective with your energy. That teaches him that connection with you requires presence, not convenience. And men respect what feels earned. This isn't manipulation, it's emotional self-respect. You're creating a relationship that runs on mutual effort, not your constant giving. 4, keep your energy unpredictable. but safe. There's a powerful balance between emotional stability and surprise. When he can trust your kindness, but never fully predict your rhythm, you become magnetic. It could be a spontaneous compliment, an unexpected voice note, or simply taking a day before replying when you're busy. The point is to remind him that your world has texture. You're not waiting for him to breathe life into it. You already have your own spark. That unpredictability is what psychologists call variable reward. It's the same mechanism that keeps people hooked on stories or music. They never know exactly what's next, but it always feels good when it arrives. 5, anchor everything in genuine connection. The chase only works if it's backed by authenticity. When you speak, touch, or share time, it should always come from real emotion, not performance. If you start playing roles, he'll feel the gap between your words and your energy. But when your confidence is real, when you genuinely like yourself, enjoy your life and let him earn his place in it. He'll chase not because he's confused, but because he's inspired. That's the heart of the subtle chase framework. Inspired pursuit. You're not tricking him into wanting you. You're giving him something worth chasing. A woman who knows her worth, moves with grace, and never stops being her own source of joy. In coaching terms, this stage transforms attraction into admiration. He's no longer chasing the thrill. He's chasing the feeling of being around someone who elevates him. And that's when the dynamic shifts. He's not pursuing you to win. He's pursuing you because life feels richer with you in it. So if you ever wonder what keeps a man hooked long after that first connection, it's this: you gave him emotional depth, then you let him miss it. That's the quiet power of the chase. And it's not loud. It's not desperate. It's simply unforgettable. If there's one thing I want you to remember from everything we've talked about today, it's this: you don't need to perform to be unforgettable. You don't need to become someone else to make him desire you. You just need to remember the power you already have. Every technique we explored, every place, every moment, every kiss wasn't really about him at all. It was about you stepping into your own feminine energy with confidence, presence, and intention. Because when a woman feels connected to herself, her touch changes everything. Her kiss becomes more than a gesture, it's a memory. Her silence becomes more powerful than 1,000 words. Her presence becomes something a man can't stop thinking about long after she's gone. That's the secret most women never learn. Desire doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from feeling more, feeling grounded in who you are, feeling confident in what you bring, feeling free to express your warmth, your playfulness, your depth without fear of judgment or rejection. And here's the truth. Men don't crave perfection. They crave real energy. They want to feel seen, desired, and safe in your presence. And when you know how to blend that energy, the confidence, the softness, the mystery, you become the kind of woman he doesn't just want to be with, he feels lucky to have found. So take this video as your reminder: you are not the chaser. You are not the performer. You are the experience. And when you show up with that kind of energy, calm, confident, a little unpredictable, every kiss, every glance, every whisper becomes magnetic. Because what truly makes you irresistible isn't where you touch him, it's how you make him feel when you do. That's the art of intimacy. That's the psychology of connection. And that's the power you've had all along. Now, before you go, I want you to do something for you. If this video spoke to you, if it reminded you of your power, your beauty, your ability to attract and connect, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, it tells YouTube that this kind of confidence-centered content matters. Comment below and tell me which part of this message hit home for you the most. I read every single one because your stories matter and they help other women feel less alone. Share this video with another woman who needs to hear it, someone who's forgotten her spark or lost touch with her sensual side.